In this case study, I'm going to discuss a strategy we currently use with great success in Guelph, Ontario. It's called the BRRR strategy. For those of you unfamiliar with BRRR, BRRR stands for buy, renovate, refinance, and repeat. The renovation and refinance are the two most important aspects to getting the strategy right. When done correctly, you'll magnify your overall return on equity investment in a big way. It's like putting your cash multiple on steroids. The property we're going to analyze is a 3-bedroom bungalow with an average interior and an unfinished basement. It has an asking price of $630,000. The goal is to turn the single-family home into a legally conforming duplex. Market rent in Guelph for a home like this is approximately $2,600 a month, but by finishing the basement, we can get another tenant in there and increase our rental income to $4,000 a month. Here's how the numbers play out initially. The purchase price is $630,000, and we secure a mortgage at 80% loan to value for $504,000. Our renovation budget is $100,000, with closing costs estimated at $20,000. That means our total cash invested in this deal is currently $246,000. We took what's called a purchase plus improvement mortgage, which means that after the renovation is complete, the bank will go back and reappraise the property. The new appraised value is called the after renovation value, or ARV for short. Duplexes in Guelph are selling for anywhere between $725,000 to $775,000 currently. So we'll estimate our ARV to be around $750,000. The new value came in at $750,000. At 80% loan to value, our new mortgage is now $600,000. We've repaid the $504,000 initially borrowed, which means there's $96,000 left over to return to the investor. This reduces the amount of cash that we have invested in the property from $226,000 down to $150,000. Using the BRRR strategy, we're able to purchase a $750,000 property that generates $4,000 per month rental income for only $150,000 of our own money. Compared to the traditional method of buying a single-family residence and renting it out to one tenant, we don't even need our software to make sense of these numbers. It's a no-brainer. For an extra $24,000, the investor owns a duplex that's able to generate an additional $1,400 a month in cash flow. Any real estate investor in his right mind would take an extra $1,400 per month rent for an extra $24,000 investment. Not to mention that we've increased the value of the home from $630,000 to $750,000. The BRRR strategy can really enhance your monthly cash flow, as we'll see when we do our analysis. But it's important to point out that using the BRRR strategy comes with some extra considerations versus buying and renting a single family home. First of all, you'll need to hire a reliable, honest contractor that has a solid crew and not only can estimate the renovation costs accurately, but will also complete the project within the agreed upon time frame. In our example, the estimated time of completion is 3 months, so we'll need to budget our cash reserve to cover the mortgage payments. I always add an extra month in case of surprises, which tend to pop up when you start ripping out walls and finding out what's behind them. So go with a 4-month minimum cash reserve. If you're at a point in your investment career that you're bringing on JV partners, always present conservative numbers when discussing ARV. Markets can change, and if you get a lower appraised value than the investor is counting on, this can lead to friction going forward. Always underpromise and overdeliver. Okay, let's play around with the software and run some metrics. We're going to compare both options, the single family residence to the duplex. Please download and open your BRRR worksheet. We're going to open the software and save the file as BRRR. Don't forget to enable macros. And we're going to start with option number 1, which is to buy and rent the single family residence. We're going to start by going to general assumptions and entering the inputs on our worksheet. The purchase price is $630,000 with closing costs of $20,000. We put 20% as our down payment, meaning our total loan amount is $504,000 with an interest rate of 2.49%. That monthly payment is a bit of a worry on the single family residence because we know the rent is only $2,600 per month. So let's extend our amortization to 30 years, and you can see that reduces our monthly payment by about $250 per month. Length of hold is 10 years. This is a great property right next to the Guelph Hospital, so we'll have no problems keeping it rented. Nurses and hospital staff always make great tenants, as do retirees who like bungalows because they don't have a second level of stairs to climb. Also, when you're older, you want to be close to medical facilities. So finding a bungalow close to a hospital is a great long-term investment. And we've left our core deal assumptions exactly as the same as our student analysis. Okay, we're going to go to our rent roll. Single family residence for one unit renting out to one family at $2,600 a month, giving us a gross annual rental income of over $31,000 per year. We'll go up to our expenses. For our expenses, we've got $900 per year in accounting fees. Insurance on the property is $1,200, $3,200 for property taxes, which is pretty bang on for Guelph. And we're going to estimate about $500 a year in repairs and maintenance. We're going to pay for the utilities in this case. We didn't do that for students because students can leave the windows open in the winter and do all kinds of crazy things. But as part of our tenant attraction plan, and we want to get this rented out as quickly as possible, we're going to advertise the fact that this includes utilities. So our total annual expenses are just over $8,000. We're going to estimate an annual vacancy loss at 5%. And that does it for our expenses. Let's see how this property cash flows. Go to our cash flow analysis, and there's red ink bleeding everywhere. This property doesn't have positive cash flow until year 6. And I'd never recommend buying a property that doesn't cash flow from year 1. Your money is always better off invested elsewhere. You scroll down, you can see the debt service coverage ratio is way below 1.2x. So the annual rent coming in just doesn't cover the expenses of the mortgage. And the cash on cash, it's negative here. You never want a negative cash on cash return. That means that cash is not being returned to the investor. In fact, the investor is putting cash into the deal. Okay, let's compare now using the BRRRR strategy. We're going to go back to our general assumptions, and we're going to change this purchase price to $750,000, which is the after renovation value. Now remember, on the BRRRR, we've already purchased this property for $630,000. We've already done the renovation, so there's no closing costs and there's no renovation costs on this. We'll leave this all the same as the down payments, interest rates the same, etc., etc. Okay, we'll go to our rent roll, and we'll just put this as upstairs. The upstairs unit at $2,600 per month. And we've got now our second tenant in the basement. And we'll rent that out for $1,400 a month. Good. So $4,000 a month income coming in now, which gives us an annual gross rental income of $48,000. Expenses, we're going to change these slightly. So for our expenses, we've increased the insurance because we've now got a duplex. We've increased the property taxes slightly. And of course, we've increased the utilities just by a little bit. Left everything the same. But when we go back to our cash flow analysis, you can see the numbers are much, much better. There's no red ink, which is always a great sign. And you can see our annualized cash flow is almost $8,000 a year by doing this strategy from year 1. The debt service coverage ratio is healthy. Our operating expense ratio is very good. We've got a really good cap rate. And of course, our cash on cash return is healthy. What I love about doing the BRRRR strategy is we've got now our leveraged cash multiple at 4.19x. The reason why is because we've now handed back money to ourselves as investors, meaning that we've only got $150,000 of our own capital in this deal. So over 10 years time, when we do sell the property and it's growing in value from $750,000 all the way up to over $1 million, we've 4x'd our initial investment, which is a fantastic return. So this strategy works. We're doing it right now as investors. If you ever want to explore this in the Guelph region, if you're from Ontario, I'm happy to chat. Send me a direct message on LinkedIn. In summary, the BRRRR strategy does the following. It allows you to buy an average property and renovate it to immediately increase its overall value and also to command a higher rent. After the renovation is complete, your mortgage refinances at the new after renovation value. This will allow you to get some, if not all, of your capital out of the investment. The less cash you have in the deal, the better return metrics and higher overall return on equity investment. Don't forget to complete your homework assignment on the last page of your worksheet. When finished, submit it to homework@elitelevelcoaching.com. And remember, to reward you for your efforts, if your assignments are mostly right, we'll send you a $10 Starbucks e-card to enjoy coffee on us.